So, during our recent trip to Cardiff, my wife SJ said to me, at least this week you're preaching on something a bit lighter. Well, I guess after last week's sermon on the Holocaust, it would be hard to find anything darker to talk about.
What about the accompaniment?
However, I think that awakening to hope follows on quite naturally. After all, when Auschwitz was liberated, there were some 7,000 people still in the camp. I mean, can you imagine that day, waking up to find that all the guards had gone? After years of brutality, of torture, killings, years of being robbed of everything that makes us human, to wake up to a day when those who carried out those atrocities have gone. I imagine it would be hard to fathom.
No, it wouldn't.
Is it a trick? Is it just another mind game? If I walk to the gate to open it, will they jump out and make an example of me? Is it the final check to see whether they have crushed the very last glimmer of spirit out of me? That might seem unrealistic to us here and now, but the reality for those in the camps was like that. And I can't help but wonder, when did that first glimmer of hope actually dawn? Did those left behind in the camp push it down deep inside, fearful of it turning out to be false? Did they even believe it when members of the Russian army turned up that afternoon? I cannot imagine how they must have felt after all that waiting, all that pain. And in the reading, we hear about Simeon meeting the baby Jesus in the temple and saying that God could now let him die as he has seen the Messiah. I imagine there were many thoughts and feelings racing through his mind. I mean, almost every day he must have wondered, is today the day? Waited for the vision he'd been given to be fulfilled. Every day wondering whether this is it. Hoping as he got older, more infirm, that the day would arrive. Maybe even having dark days when he doubted or lost hope. Then suddenly, there's Jesus, as promised. Must have been a bit of a shock, I'd have thought. After all that waiting, he wanders into the temple, his couple walk in, little baby, oh, hello, there he is. And the thing is, when we hope for something long enough, often it seems unreal when that hope is realised. Often we hear people saying about such moments, I could scarcely believe it finally arrived. For me, we just had a moment like that. I mean, we've been waiting for Matthew to crawl forever. Oh, right, not forever, he's only 9 months old, so we'll give him a break. But he kept getting on the cusp of it. I kept thinking, now he's going to crawl. And then he'd just flop on his belly and go, bleh! Next day, he'd get up on his knees. Now he's going to crawl. And he'd nosedive onto the carpet and just lay there and go, bleh!
I'm lazy.
But yesterday, on the 1st of February, exactly 9 months old, he crawled. Alright, it wasn't a full-on across the floor, let's go, but it was a definite couple of crawls, a couple of little knee movements and afterwards. And he actually got them in the right order, so he moved forward. Exactly, I couldn't believe it either. That's why I videoed it, so I've got proof.
Really?
So I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
It was not. Two very different situations. But Simeon and the Holocaust. Two very different times. Yeah, the feelings seem to be eerily similar. The hope being for something incredible, something huge, something almost unfathomable to them. Something they could scarcely dare hope would come true. We don't really get to hear what happened to Simeon after that, after his hope had been realised. I imagine his life was very different. I mean, just the following day, he's kind of achieved what he was waiting for all those years. And I wonder whether he still spent all his time in the temple. I wonder if perhaps once this event had occurred, he just stopped. After all, it seems he was only living to see Jesus arrive. Maybe he died right afterwards. Bit of a downer. Just achieve what you'd hope for and then... Either way, in that moment, the moment he acknowledged Christ, his life changed forever. And in some respects, so did the entire universe. After all, when something is declared in that manner, it affects those who hear it. And the ripples of that spread out. Anyway, so in a way that is a true awakening to hope. It's the first real acknowledgement of Jesus as the Messiah, albeit kind of outside of the family, let's put it that way. Although Simeon doesn't actually use that word. But it's not just his hope. This is the real awakening to hope for the world. And Simeon points that out. That said, it isn't the wording that is important here. It's the fact that Simeon's hope was realised in a very tangible, very real way in the physical body of Jesus Christ. And that, no matter how long he had waited, God's promise to him was fulfilled. That no matter how long it takes, people of faith never really let go of hope. No matter how dark the times, no matter all the evidence to the contrary, having faith gives us hope. And it's funny because the song earlier on, one of the readings in it is the reading from Hebrews that actually spells out about faith. And part of it is faith is confidence in what we hope for. That belief that our hope is fulfilled or will be fulfilled. Even if events seem to be pointing to the exact opposite. Even if everything else is stripped away from us. Even if we lose everything. Even if our entire world seems dark. Still, hope cannot be entirely extinguished. It is very real, the light that darkness can't overcome. It is the Spirit that most moves through us all. It is the very breath we take, the rising of the sun, the beauty of the moon. Hope is a very real part of how we are made. It's an integral part of our design. And in many respects, it's the anchor that holds us to this earth. Now, hope appears in the Bible those times. It really does. And I can't really imagine a world without it. I mean, the very phrase, without hope, just seems dark, cold, has a kind of nothingness feel about it. So I'm on the side of the person who gave us the quote, to live without hope is to cease to live. I mean, I, for one, would not like to find out what it is like to be in that position. I'm lucky, I'm always hopeful. I'm always hopeful. I always think that things will just work out. That it will all be okay. That everything will come right in the end. And somehow, that just seems to be the case. Is that because I have hope? Is hope so powerful that just having it makes life better? Well, to my mind, it certainly beats the alternative. I don't know if hope can change reality, although I think that's quite an awesome thought. But I'm certain that it is incredibly powerful. There are so many stories of how hope has kept people alive in extreme situations. How it has caused great things to happen, great achievements, breakthroughs in many fields. So perhaps the answer is yes. Hope is so powerful it can make life better. So on reflection, perhaps what I should have called this sermon was Awakening to the Power of Hope. After all, it was powerful enough to keep Simeon alive for, depending on how you count these things, roughly 120 years. according to some estimates. Which, I mean, these days, here the oldest person in the world lives to be 120, 121. But back then, the average age was 30 to 40.
How old was Jesus?
It was powerful enough to help thousands survive the death marches and the death camps in World War II. It is something we can all have. Something we can all hold on to. Tap into. Something that could unify us all. And it's there for us. Always and forever. All we have to do is realise it. For Simeon, that realisation was seeing the baby Jesus. For those in Auschwitz, it was seeing Russian uniforms. For some, it's as simple as seeing the sun rise. But for me, it's seeing little acts of kindness, random things people do, for no apparent reason, to help others. Especially now in these uncertain times when things are so difficult. Those things give me hope. And my faith gives me confidence. Confidence in what I hope for. Thank you.